Hi, my name is Kathy Clark and I am a lecturer in the Department of Soil Science at Stellenbosch University. I'm going to take the next 10 minutes to explain a little bit more what soil science is about. So when I tell people what I do, they're often surprised to hear that there is an entire branch of science dedicated to soil, with questions like, how much possibly could there be to soil? But let's just think about it. Let's think about breakfast, lunch, and supper. Pretty much everything we eat is either grown in soil or eat something that's grown in soil. Let's think about drinking water. We all became pretty interested in drinking water as our dams dried up in the recent drought. Soils are the conduit between rainwater and our streams and groundwater. They slowly absorb and slowly release water into the major reservoirs. Without soils, all water would run off and none of it would be stored in our dams and aquifers. Let's think about climate change. Soil stores more carbon than the entire above-ground biomass of the planet. We can easily lose this carbon to erosion or through poor cultivation practices. On the other hand, we can build up carbon stocks in our soils. Sequestration of carbon into soils is one of our best tools to reduce CO2 and mediate climate change. Let's even think about health, a topic on most of our minds these days. New families of antibiotics are being discovered in soils all the time. So hopefully I've managed to convince you that soils are pretty important and that actually our lives depend on this fragile and very complex layer. To deal with this complexity, not only is there an entire branch of science dedicated to soil, but there is also subdisciplines in soil science. But before we get into that, let's look at the need of soil science in agriculture. So when we think of agriculture, especially here in the Western Cape, we often think of orchards and vineyards. A typical orchard or vineyard development costs around 350,000 rand per hectare. Failure to conduct a thorough investigation of soil types can lead to complete crop failure. Orchard development without proper soil map is like playing the lottery. You never know what you're going to get. So for those less keen to gamble and for the best chances of success, one needs a soil map. Identification and demarcation of poor soils will improve profits and reduce environmental damage of your production operation. Soil fertility is one of the cornerstones in crop production. Plants need nutrients to grow. Most of our soils are seriously depleted in nutrients. Understanding the general and specific nutritional requirements of crops is essential for profitable production. Understanding fertilizer and compost reactions in soils is vital to prevent the over or under-fertilization of our land. In the recent drought in the Western Cape, we changed the way we irrigate crops. In water-scarce areas, irrigating just enough water at exactly the right time is vital for crop production. On the other hand, even though we are a water-scarce country, many soils experience waterlogging for periods during the year. This water needs to be diverted through drainage to make land productive. Many of our soils in South Africa are not arable in their natural state. We have learnt how to prepare these difficult soils to obtain maximum productivity. In addition, over the years, we have learnt a lot about protecting our agricultural soils. Cultivation practices have evolved to protect soil carbon and prevent soil degradation. These previous examples highlight the importance of soil science in agriculture. So what superpowers do you gain by doing a soil science degree? A soil science degree equips you with a very practical and applicable skill. You will literally never be able to look at soils the same way again. You will be able to see their potential, you will be able to see their problems, you will know how to fix them, and you will know what to plant. So a serious superpower awaits after this 4-year degree. So let's go back to those sub-disciplines of soil science that I mentioned earlier. There are 3 branches of soil science that equip you with the skills that you require. There is soil chemistry and the related soil fertility. There is soil physics, which then includes soil water management. And then there is a discipline known as pedology, which looks at soil distributions, soil mapping, soil suitability, and soil formation. So if you want to study soil science at Stellenbosch, there are certain admission requirements. Currently, you need at least an average mark of 60% for your National Senior Certificate and 70% for mathematics. But please check out our website, which I will provide at the end of this presentation, to find out our most up-to-date requirements. I'd rather spend the rest of this presentation telling you about possible career opportunities in soil science. So most of our students become consultants. And these students consult to the agricultural or environmental industry. For most soil science careers, you need to expect to spend time outside in the field, and you must be prepared to travel. Most local consultants not only work in South Africa, but are starting to consult to producers in South America and throughout the rest of Africa. Let's look at some of the typical activities that consultants are involved in. Most agricultural developments start with a soil map. Soil scientists map soil using a mixture of field techniques and advanced technologies such as drone and satellite imagery interpretation. These create detailed maps outlining the distribution of different soils. These maps can then be used for environmental impact assessments or for orchard design or precision agriculture inputs. Based on these soil maps, irrigation systems can be designed according to the soil types and crop requirements. Based on the soil type and crop requirements, fertilizer recommendations can also be made for various crops. In addition, fertility specialists often work for large international fertilizer companies and are involved in specific field trials to determine recommendations under local conditions. Again, based on the soil map, soil preparation recommendations can be made. This is to improve the rooting depth of many soils so that maximum production can be obtained. Some of our graduates land up outside of agriculture. Because of all the chemistry covered in our undergraduate degree courses, soil scientists are perfectly suited to conduct contaminated land investigations and be involved in remediation activities. Soil science graduates are highly sought after by environmental consultancies. And staying with the environment, as we move to a more circular economy and sustainable living, we need to find uses for wastes. Many soil scientists are involved in rehabilitating mine spoils and applying wastes to land. In terms of community development and outreach, soil scientists are perfectly placed to get involved in outreach and community development through extension to small-scale farmers, with excellent success stories of entire communities in the sugar-growing region of KwaZulu-Natal being lifted out of poverty through dedicated extension. Many of our graduates continue on in our department to pursue an MSc or a PhD in an industry-applicable research direction. Such students are highly sought after by the industry. Most of them secure a job before the final thesis is even submitted. So that's soil science and linked career opportunities in a nutshell. For more information, please consult our website that is provided in this slide. So we hope you enjoyed that short video on soil science, and we look forward to welcoming you to Stellenbosch University.